the top somehow. My Straight Talk family, it's one of those nights. It's another Monday night, and a time for me to extend greetings to my Straight Talk family, wherever you are in the world, and in particular those here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and throughout the entire Caribbean region. It's time for me to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, good night to the entire Caribbean region, good night to the world, because we are in fact reaching you wherever you are in the diaspora. Some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, there's some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I am at liberty to say good night. I can't say good morning, and I will say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And you are a first timer, because we do get first timers, my Straight Talk family. And we want to thank all who continue to share the link. Because of your efforts in sharing that link, we do get first timers. And for the first timers, I believe it's only fair for me to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum on which we can express ourselves freely. Let's in the process strive to get St. Kitts back to that enviable position of being number one, or one of the freest countries in the world. I will forewarn you, it's going to be a difficult task, a Himalayan task, as I always say, because things are not the way they should be at this time in St. Kitts and Nevis in particular, and for that matter, all over the world, I may add. But for the first time, Straight Talk, as I said, is a public service program. And I want to, as well, I want to say to my first timers that we try to raise the level of national discourse. We try to raise the level of national consciousness by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And through this program, we are joined with people in the diaspora all over the world. And we, in fact, my Straight Talk family, we know some of you. Some of you we know very well and have met. Some of you we will never meet. and I can tell you, my Straight Talk family, some of us will agree on the positions of truth advanced on this program, which is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 in the PM, 8 to 10 in the PM, every Monday and Thursday. And we want to say or remind you, and to the first timers as well, we do not really try to water down. We do not try to water down our program, like I said, to make it more interesting. Neither by omission nor exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement. Not at all. Especially at the expense of accuracy. Because we lean, I should say, on the facts. I consider it my duty to always present the unvarnished truth, especially when it comes to governance and accountability in our country. So, my Straight Talk family, again, I say welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. And let us thank Almighty God for being able to share our views, to be able to be together. And let us thank Almighty God, because we know how pleasant, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praises together. So welcome once again. For those who continue to share the link, we thank you, and please continue to do so. For the first timers, we do include your calls and your emails, because Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, your emails, and if you're so minded calling in short order, we will entertain your calls. Like I said, the numbers are on your monitors, and for those of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity, we also give you access via our email platform, and that email address is also listed on your monitors, on your screens, my Straight Talk family. But when we get to that point, I will inform you accordingly, my Straight Talk family. And I want to welcome, I must always ensure that we recognize and acknowledge our future, which is our young brigade, our Straight Talk brigade, young brigade. Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Travon. I also always must recognize the special lady in St. Louis. Everybody asks about this special lady. She is special, yes. And we're going to meet her. We're going to meet her sooner rather than later. Trust me. I can assure you of that, my Straight Talk family. Well, our first timers, we also have what we call our observations in review. And observations in review is an integral part of the program. Then we look at issues we may have raised, questions we may have asked, and we're looking answers. And after which we present our dissertation or a thesis. And the title of my thesis tonight is MSR movie Mandamus, premieres on the 10th of July. That's Wednesday, by the way. Then the MSR movie Mandamus premieres on the 10th of July, my Straight Talk family. And our observations in review, that time when we highlight the current issues, and we just want to highlight two issues tonight, after which we roll into our thesis. As I just mentioned, it's titled MSR Movie Mandamus, premieres the 10th of July. And I want to still raise the issue of the water quality in Keon, because I'm getting these complaints and I'm asked to raise the issue on your program, Straight Talk. And the concern to all of us is that the authorities are mum. They're not saying anything. And that's the strange character of this administration and its members, its representatives, is that they just totally ignore you, expect you to go away when you ask the question. They get annoyed when you ask the questions. But as a servant of the people, you must listen to the people and answer the people when they ask questions, my straight dog family. The quality of the water in Cairn is still an issue. We need to hear something from the manager and water engineer, Cromwell Williams. Not from the minister. I want to hear from the technical people whether what we are hearing about the quality of water found in Cairn is of the standard, the WHO standards, as we all know, and you all know what it is at the Water Services Department. I also want to provide some advice as it relates to the water and how to deal with the water. And I ask myself the question again, why should royal utilities be handpicked to deliver the desal plan? We are hearing as well it may be under a public benefit option through the Marriott as the benefactor. But we're not hearing this information. They're secret. We don't know why. Some time ago, months ago, the so-called engineer said this about the desalination plan. And this is months ago, my straight dog family.
The Attorney General's office has confirmed that the contract agreement for the new desalination plant is just about ready for sign-off, and so we should be signing that contract very shortly for the construction of the 2 million gallon desalination plant, which is proposed to be located on the industrial site where the Texaco bulk facility used to be. This is right next to the ocean actually, and it's an ideal location for the capture of water and then the distribution to nearby 2 million gallon storage in Bird Rock, and even reaching storage as far as Lagreed. We had evaluated 3 proposals, and Royal Utilities was the selected developer, and so the contract will be signed with Royal Utilities, and we are at the final stages of that. And once the contract is signed, we anticipate that construction will take maybe up to about 8 months to get this additional 2 million gallons of water into our system.
And my straight dog family, that is nothing so far from the truth. Because just last week, the Prime Minister July did make mention of the contract, which he said was not signed. And my straight dog family, we still have to get the facts. And we are asking the question, why is it, my straight dog family, why is it that this is such a secret? And if 3 proposals were sent to, who were the other contractors that bid on this project? And these are the issues that we do have our problems with, my straight dog family. Who were the other? Who were the others who submitted proposals to fund this? I think it's a $40 million desalination plan. But my straight dog family, that's how this administration operates. But we must not accept it. There's come a time when we say good night, or we will take no more, rather, my straight dog family. And our second observation, because we've been patient, my straight dog family. The people have been patient with all that's going on. Our second observation relates to the National Bank and the debts owed by Christopher Harbour to that particular institution. And I asked the question, how could Dr. July, in his right mind, stop the bank from trying to recover the assets of the shareholders? How could the Prime Minister Dr. July, in his right mind, stopped the bank from recovering the over $100 million owed to the bank by Christopher Harbour. I also asked a question, my Straight Talk family, how could the board of directors countenance such a travesty? And my Straight Talk family, I will hasten to say, I find it offensive. The chairman of the board, Mrs. Buddy, from all reports, is a very competent accountant, a chartered one at that. So her training is expected to override her politics. And whenever she takes a glance at the level of non-performing loans, as can be found in their financial statements, my Straight Talk family, the non-performing loans must be of concern to the board of directors and all who are in management in the bank. And if you look at the bottom of your monitors, my Straight Talk family, to your left, in terms of the management of financial and insurance risk, and it states that the gross carrying value of impaired loans at the year end was $404 million. That's $446 million, round it off, $447 million, my Straight Talk family. That's loans, non-performing loans at the National Bank. You can glean from the note number 8. It's the non-performing loans, again, over $440 million, my Straight Talk family. And as the chairman of the board, Mrs. Buddy would be breaching her fiduciary duties if she acts on the instructions of her political bosses, who control 51% of the shares, my Straight Talk family, and fails to act responsibly in the best interests of the 49%, which comprises of thousands of shareholders who are poor people from the generation of the penny bankers that started, if we follow the way back, my Straight Talk family, in the 70s or late 60s, if we follow the historical development of the bank. And of the $444 million, Christopher Harbour is owing more than 1/3 of that amount, my Straight Talk family. Yet, the ordinary man in this country, the poor man, their land and their houses are put up for sale by the bank. It's a travesty, I said, when one considers the whole Christopher Harbour or KHT deal as it originally started, my Straight Talk family. Recall, back then, they gloated about the number of land and the beaches. Back then, my Straight Talk family, here's what they said.
Christopher Harbour is 2,500 acres of land. We've got 13 miles of shoreline with the property, 6 beaches, of which I would argue that at least 3 of the 6 beaches are in the top 10 beaches in the Caribbean, which I think says a lot about the natural beauty.
2,100 acres of prime land and 6 of the best beaches. And my Straight Talk family, in 26 or 27 days from now, if so much, we would have had to endure the leadership or lack thereof Terence Michael July for the past 2 years. Yes, it will be 2 years. Damn long time, as time has flown nonetheless. But everyone, and I mean everyone, as I speak with everyone, PAM, Labour, CCM, NRP, and our PLP, I speak with everyone. Politics don't divide me and people, I would say. But everyone I've spoken to and everyone I consulted have opined. They have given the opinion or are of the view that our Prime Minister, with respect, is a political dunce. Yes. With respect, our Prime Minister is a political dunce. And more than that, he is so oblivious as he is either unaware of or he just doesn't care about our history or from whence we came. Nice Street Dog family. Does Dr. July understand why our first national hero, the late Sir Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, thought it was necessary to acquire the Frigate Bay estate? Yes, that Frigate Bay estate was acquired by the then Bradshaw government in the early 70s. Dr. July, let me inform you that there was a gate that prevented ordinary people from entering into that area still called Frigate Bay. Does Dr. July understand why our first national hero moved to the National Assembly to pass legislation to ensure public access to every single beach on St. Kitts and Nevis? And Bradshaw was almost 30 years ahead of people like Buddy Darby, who is allowed to continue breaching the laws of our land. I was in government and I saw the loan agreement between the SIDF signed by Crosman, who is now, quite strange, the managing director of the St. Kitts and Nevis and Anguilla National Bank. Crosman signed on behalf of the SIDF, and Christoph Harbour, or Buddy Darby, signed on behalf of Christoph Harbour. So I have seen with my eyes that Christoph Harbour was provided with US $16 million to be repaid. And up to when I was participating in those meetings with Buddy Darby sitting right next to me. Yes, Buddy, you're listening. You were sitting right next to me on my left hand side. And you agreed, Buddy Darby, to put up 400 acres of land for satisfying the loan which had not been repaid. That's about $43 million. And I am aware that Buddy Darby reneged on his promise to transfer that land. He pulled out of the agreement to settle the loan delinquency. I heard everybody. I heard Denzel Douglas say in the National Assembly, for example, that US $16 million was not supposed to be a loan. But I have a copy of the loan agreement, and Denzel knows much better than that. So you know that this Labour government, with Crosman in charge of the National Bank, is not going to pursue recovering the National Bank loan, which with interest had ballooned to US $24 million when Team Unity was in office. The SIDF loan was US $20 million with interest. That's about $44 million and more. That is more or less 120 or 130 million in loan funds outstanding by Christoph Harbour, which has failed to produce the $20 billion in economic activity as per the agreement. It promised in the agreement it made under the Douglas administration that it would produce economic activity to the tune under the value of US $20 billion. That was a nice carrot you dangled, Buddy Darby, and your KHT group. But my straight talk family, the Labour government is beholden to Buddy Darby. So I am confident they cannot do anything else but discontinue. Remember, July, in his ignorance, also said that the SIDF has 1/3 of Buddy Darby's company that owns Christopher Harbour. He even said that comes to about $200 million. What nonsense. What nonsense this political dunce advance. My straight talk family, reflect. Christopher Harbour got over 2,100 acres of land. I think it was 21 or 2,150 acres to be exact. Remember that the Douglas administration acquired 150 acres of land and sold that land to the KHD group then. But the Christopher Harbour right now is selling land at more than US $1 million per acre. All that land they got at US $17 million, my straight dog family. That's murderous. And they're selling land at US $1 million per acre. The slips at the marina are being sold at US $2 million each. My straight dog family. So why? Ask yourselves why. Why is this July Labour administration allowing it itself to be held hostage by these investors like Buddy Darby, who came to this country with no money? But we are stifling the development of our own people who were born, raised, and still live in this land. And we are going to follow this story wherever it takes us, my straight dog family. I did promise on Thursday last that I will visit the site for the correctional facility. I must apologize for that. My brother in Pennsylvania, I think he is, had asked, given me some homework. I intended to go today, but it was raining cats and dogs. But I will assure you, I will get that update by Thursday, God's willing, my straight dog family. But those are my observations in review for tonight. And I move right into my thesis, which, as stated earlier, is titled MSR Movie Mandamus, or Mandamus, premieres the 10th July. And that's the title of the movie, Mandamus. Well, that movie premieres this coming Wednesday on the 10th of July. It is a true story about a claim, my straight dog family. It is a true story about a claim that was filed with the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in the High Court of Justice here in St. Kitts, Nevis on the 22nd of May, 2024. This is the claim that was filed, my straight dog family, as you can glean again from your monitors. Claim number SKBHCV 2024. My straight dog family, between MSR Media SKN Limited and the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew in his capacity as Minister of National Security of the federal government of St. Christopher and Nevis. My Stray Dog family, recent developments have come to light that the court will convene on Wednesday, the 10th July at 9 in the morning, 9 a.m., 0900 hours. And we have seen the civil court listing that refers to this particular hearing. You can glean from your screens again that the St. Kitts Supreme Court, on this notice or this list coming from the St. Kitts Supreme Court Registry, that the civil court lists before her ladyship, the Honorable Justice Tamara Gill, has scheduled a case for Wednesday, the 10th July 2024. It says open court, but I'm not certain if it will be. But if it's there, if it's an open court, I suggest that we all try to get into that court for that hearing. I'm not too certain if it is really in open court as stipulated here on the listing. And it's the hearing of the application to strike. The claim, as I mentioned earlier, SKBHCV 2021/0085. MSR Media, and it says the nature of the matter, as you can glean from your screen, MSR Media SKN Limited versus the Honorable Terence Drew. The claimant, Attorney Kelsick, Wilkin, and Ferdinand. Claimant, MSR Media SKN Limited. Defendants, the Attorney General's Chambers, and of course, the Prime Minister, Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. And that's information, that's public information. My Stray Dog family, while this movie depicts a true story, and for tonight, I should say, greater focus will be placed on the cast of well-known actors in this movie. And in the process, we will examine their characters, which are not created, which are not fictional, but factual, as we show or try to show that these people, or try to show these people as they really are. In other words, we'll try to show them true to life. The producer of this film, Mandamus, Philippe Martinez, we all know by now, spent many years in jail, latterly in a French jail where he spent time having committed fraud. His UK-based company, he claimed, focuses on commercial feature films and television series for audiences around the world. From all records, MSR has never produced one film that made it to the box office charts. So he is not a Steven Allen Spielberg, for example, or a filmmaker known for acclaimed or any movie that has attracted the box office for sure. But he promised to produce 35 films for St. Kitts Nevis over 5 years. Kicked out of Barbados, he found his way to Nevis And the first actor in the movie Mandamus, Premier of Nevis, Mark Brantley, known to all of us as the Snake. He features in this movie when we'll see this movie come out. And the Snake provided a healthy subsidy of US $150,000 monthly from the Treasury in Nevis for 2 long years, my straight dog family. The Snake then encouraged Philippe Martinez to journey to St. Kitts, according to an account from Martinez himself, my straight dog family.
Now, couple of months ago, Jacob Katzman, Mark Brandley, we spoke, and they told me you have to come to this beautiful federation. And it has been a dream since then. So again, thank you for the warm hospitality today.
Yes, as he said, he was encouraged to go to St. Kitts and expand his operation. Soon after, Philippe Martinez announced that his base would be in St. Kitts. He announced this, my straight dog family.
It's an important week for us because at the end of the week, MSR is opening a headquarters in St. Kitts. So we're very excited about it.
So he decided, my straight dog family, to open headquarters in St. Kitts. And we know by now that he acquired the Ocean Terrace Hotel from the TDC group of companies. But when we look or get to look at the scenes of this new MSR movie, Mandamus, you will find relationships, I can assure you, that stink from head to toe. The relationship between Philippe Martinez and Premier Mark Brantley the Snake, that led to the relationship between Philippe Martinez and Prime Minister July, he also spoke about. He led this convicted felon to Prime Minister July.
Thank Philippe for really coming through and what we had discussed sometime before.
So Philippe Martinez discussed with Prime Minister July before he was elected, and he assisted and supported the convicted felon who never delivered on what they discussed before, my straight dog family. We will also examine the characters of the other actors in the movie. One actor in the movie is referred to as Gada, G-A-D-A, Gada. Gada is one of the advisors, or an advisor to Philippe, who has unfettered access. Yes, Gada. Gada has unfettered access to July and the Attorney General Garth, Lucifer Wilkin. Lucifer, as a matter of fact, referred to Gada when he was a young boy as Uncle Dwyer. Uncle Dwyer. Yes. Now we know Gada is Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan. Garth Lucifer Wilkin, we know by now as well, which we will find in the movie. Garth Lucifer Wilkin sent WhatsApp messages to Uncle Dwyer, who then shared the messages with the convicted felon, Philippe Martinez. But why Dwyer did this is everybody's guess. Did Uncle Dwyer betray the trust of Garth Lucifer Wilkin? Or was Wilkin using Dwyer as a conduit to Philip Martinez? Gada, as I said, as he is called in the movie, is quite familiar and has dealt with criminals in the past. Alan Stanford, my Straight Dog family, comes to mind. And the former Prime Minister told us this about Alan Stanford's relationship with Gada.
Who brought Stanford? Who brought Alan Stanford to St. Kitts to buy government land at the airport? Of course it was Dwyer Astafan. It was Dwyer Astafan himself who went to Antigua to negotiate in Antigua with Stanford about the price of the land at the airport. It was Dwyer Astafan himself who called me from Antigua and wanted me to agree on the telephone as to what the price of the land must be that Stanford was offering to pay. And it was I, as the Prime Minister, who told Dwyer Astafan, you gotta be crazy, act to St. Kitts and bring that matter before the cabinet and let the cabinet sit down and let Stanford come to St. Kitts, sit in the cabinet room and negotiate with the government the conditions under which he must buy government land. That is why today when some people are making all kind of noises, I laugh. I laugh because they are hypocrites, political hypocrites and political prostitutes as well. Sorry to say that, but that is what it is. And so, caller, I want to thank you for asking that fundamental question because it had escaped me. Who was it that brought Alan Stanford to St. Kitts to buy land at the airport? It was Dwyer Astafan himself and his law firm who benefited from the sale of that land.
And my Straight Dog family, Alan Stanford is now rotting in a U.S. jail. So Desiree Douglas was right. Gada, as he's referred to in the film, that's the act he's playing, was also the one who took a prisoner out of 1840. That's what we call our prison. Yes. We confirm that as well. The second Prime Minister.
It was well known that he went into a prison. Someone who was on remand for murder. Took him out. After hours, he brought him to Louis Farrakhan, Prime Minister's Gala, where Louis Farrakhan was the guest speaker. I mean, I had heard that for months, and then one day I said, but why these people are saying these things? I don't think you could be that crazy to take a guy out of prison. And then he shocked us and he said, well, PM, I really did it, you know. I really did it. I couldn't believe.
My Straight Dog family, Gada, it was, who according to an High Court judge, was cited for undue influence in the claim numbered SKB-HCV 2011/039 between his sister Lauren and himself, my Straight Dog family. Gada, it was, who was found by the judge to be dishonest. Or was the judge just being polite, my Straight Dog family? That claim, if we read its entire contents, we won't listen to Gada anytime you hear him speaking, my Straight Dog family. We won't. Gada it was, as well, my Straight Dog family, who signed a contract, I must remind you, as the Minister of the Frigate Bay Development Corporation or the minister responsible, I should say, for the Frigate Bay Development Corporation for $54 million with respect to La Valley Greens Golf Course. Take a drive whenever you come to St. Kitts next, my straight dog family in the diaspora. Go look for the golf course. And for those who have not been that side of the country, over there, just beyond Sandy Point, go look for the golf course. And you will find there is no golf course. So Straight Talk asks Gada, where has the money gone? For years, Gada has let the country down with this, what I call a Ronald Reagan response. Gada said this to the country.
Apparently, he wants me to explain to the nation why I, as a minister, signed an agreement. Well, it seems as though he wants me to explain why I signed. I'm told that he said he's not accusing anybody of bubble, but that he was just asking, where's the money? That's what I'm told, right? And I don't remember. But let me say what I have to say. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
My Straight Talk family, how many of us remember that Ronald Reagan answer? I don't recall when I asked about the Iran-Contra deal. But that was the Iran-Contra scandal in the United States. But here in St. Kitts Nevis, we have the Gada-La Valley scandal, which must shape the legacy of Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan, no matter how you hear him talking every week. The Gada-La Valley scandal must shape the legacy of Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan. And when we look at this movie, when it premieres, you will conclude as well that Gada is hell-bent to mash up the CBI and destroy the economy of St. Kitts Nevis. But although the movie is to be released on the 10th of July, and the scenes are different to those that will be found in the other movie. Yes, there's another movie which is being filmed as we speak, to be released later and called RICO, R-I-C-O. But that would highlight the racketeer influence and corrupt organizations and the act pertaining to RICO under United States federal law. The law provides for extended criminal penalties and a civil cause of action for acts performed as part of an ongoing criminal organization. But one wonders, my Straight Dog family, how it is this Philippe Martinez and MSR Media SKN Limited could remain appointed by Prime Minister July as the number one and only public benefactor for the St. Kitts Nevis Citizenship by Investment, CBI. How could he remain appointed as the public benefactor for this program? Through his lawyer, Damien Kelsick, or King's Counsel of Kelsick, Wilkin and Ferdinand, he has now sued and brought a claim against the Prime Minister of St. Kitts Nevis, Dr. July. Attempts, as I said earlier, are now being made to strike it out. But what is to be struck out? I hear you ask. What is to be struck out? Remember, my Straight Dog family, that this convicted felon, Philippe Martinez, moved to the court to require Dr. July to call in and cancel all CORs, all certificates of registration he approved, and who obtained citizenship under the alternative investment option that was granted to Caribbean Galaxy in connection to the new correctional facility that everyone is calling the prison project. This judicial review allows the judge of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court to take an active role in ensuring that the executive branch of government abides by the law approved by the legislature and or the Constitution. But that is a high bar set, my straight talk family, don't you think so? Recall passports. Well, who would pay back the clients? Are these matters to consider? But serious consequences will arise. The facts will be presented in court by all parties, no doubt. Well, I am not a lawyer, but I read the chapter. I got a sneak preview of the chapter called Strikeout. But the matter is before the court, so I will make no comment. But we have an Attorney General who is the Chief Legal Officer of St. Kitts and Nevis, or in St. Kitts and Nevis, whichever is accurate. His role is to serve as counselor to our government agencies and Parliament, also as representative of the public interest. Garth Lucifer Wilkin, however, is not the Attorney General. I submit he is the lawyer for the Labour Party and not for the country or its people. I repeat it. Garth Lucifer Wilkin is not acting like the Attorney General. He's acting as if he's a lawyer for the Labour Party and not for the country or its people. Remember my straight dog family, after Wilkin took the oath of office as Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, my straight dog family. Immediately after he took the oath of office, he went on to the attack to embarrass the political opponents of the Labour Party. Remember, he threatened to introduce a 70-30 rule, my straight dog family. That was one of his first threats leveled at the people.
I might be publicly embarrassing some people, which might actually be worse than going to prison. I'm contemplating whether I should do that, and I'm minded more so about 70-30 to embarrass some people who might not have been corrupt, but were, I don't want to use the word I used earlier, but
honesty, sincerity, strong moral principles, these are the key elements of integrity. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. Amen.
And my straight dog family, it wasn't too long before the Attorney General was exposed as the crooked one. The Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, my straight dog family, has not improved one bit, going on to 2 years, and continues to maintain his arrogance, as can be gleaned from the content of his latest Facebook post, my straight dog family. He posted this on Facebook, my straight dog family. But I can say, my straight dog family, he spoke about gossip. But maturity should have told the Attorney General that when people run for public office, they are under a light and people will react to what they see. Nobody asks any of them to run for public office. And if they have indicated that they are only running for public office to get elected, and then criticize who was there before them, then nothing would be achieved. And this administration ran on a message of change. Do not now stay there and criticize that which you undertook to change. produce results, Attorney General. As you said, you're focusing on people in public office is a fact of life. To whose or to those to whom much power is given, of those same people, much respect, honesty and accountability, transparency, and we can go on and on. But as a minimum, those are expected. And the AG is talking about spewing lies. Look at his post. He talks about spewing lies. What about? What was July saying about the 21,000 certificates of registration? Did he sign them, Attorney General? Did you advise him to sign them? Or did July meet them, sign, and fail to cancel all of them, and now claims my Straight Dog family that he was set up? That's the question we're asking. He said he was set up. Do you believe that, my Straight Dog family? That's what he would say after signing some almost 21,000 passports?
Speaker, I said that in 2020 to 2023, as a result of 5,500 CBI units issued for the prison project, I am informed that 166 passports have been issued to citizens by investment in the last 2 years, Madam Speaker. Set up the government. Set up the government with this, Madam Speaker.
Did they hold a gun to his head and force him to sign? What does he mean by set up the government? He had signed almost 21,000, my Straight Dog family, 21,000 certificates of registration that allowed those applicants to apply for a passport. And my Straight Dog family, you asked the question as well about spewing lies. What did July say about the PAP? What did July say about the dividends, my Straight Dog family? He promised the dividends. What did he say?
The only country in the Caribbean, only one to share its wealth with respect to a dividend with its people based on what is available in the resources is St. Kitts and Nevis. Why did I choose to do that? Because here you had a CBI program that was the people's citizenship being used. So I said, if there is any extra that is available, let's give the people directly. That is where the independence reset comes from, plus the other 2 dividends that were paid. So any extra at any given point, I would seek to see how I can get it to the people. So at the particular point where the program was affected, we cut back for harmonization and there's no extra, then we might have to forego that until we get back there.
And my Straight Dog family, in his Facebook post, the Attorney General stated that a gossip piece with pure lies was recently circulated with his photo, which seems to have spread afar. So what about the ex parte injunction, Attorney General, in which you misled the court? Do you forget that, AG?
Maybe Mr. Wilkins should be disclosing what's happened. Maybe Mr. Wilkins should disclose that he had failed to pay Social Security benefits for 15 months on one occasion, on another occasion for 5 months, and another one for about three or 4 months. And all of that is contrary to the law. And it is not a simple matter of just saying, oh, you just pay the fines. Because what you expose yourself to there is criminal action. And isn't this something that should be told to everybody? That if you do not pay your Social Security benefits, you are liable to be prosecuted. You hold yourself up for that possibility.
And he should have been prosecuted for committing a criminal offense. He went on in his Facebook post to state that he has cut all ties, or to quote him, "I do not have any ties with my former law firm." But would the Attorney General go as far as to say that even when he gets out of politics, he will not go back to the same nest, my straight dog family? As far as you are not having financial or other interest is concerned, would you say that your old firm having a revolving retainer with government does not smell of a conflict of interest, my straight dog family? But in time, the statement and all the statements made will be addressed about your partnership or non-partnership. The jury will remain out on this one, and it will be revisited at the appropriate time, my straight dog family. But you spoke about your father. Did it ever occur to you, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, that your father, a well-respected King's Counsel, is quite able to speak for himself? So we are not going to try to address him through you unless you insist on bringing him into the discussion. And my straight dog family, you boast about showing up to work every day. But that's what you're paid for, Attorney General. And as far as what you said about the MSR, or no claim by MSR, according to you, in relation to the government for any money, that's what you said in your Facebook post. So there is no settlement or proposed settlement. But Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin, there is a claim against the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, in which the government has controlling shares, 51% to be exact. Is there a claim against the defendants for $150 million? The convicted felon proposed a settlement to one of the defendants of $47 million, my straight dog family. That was his proposition. You made mention, as you said, about an application to strike out the local judicial review claim that was filed by your office. You made mention that your office is represented by a reputable Jamaican King's Counsel who is confident in your application. With respect, I do not propose to get involved in anything that is before the court. And as Attorney General and a member of the bar, I suggest that you try to do the same, Attorney General. But as you reflect on the different administrations since adult suffrage, associated statehood, independence, can you identify any one government that did not have to depend primarily on single-purpose revenue streams? Do you agree that dependence on CBI was known before the last election, and it was against that promises were made? The people were told of the investors lining up to come into St. Kitts and Nevis. Do you think the people now have a right to understand why the investors changed their minds? Or in the alternative, do you think that part of your administration ought to fall in love with the truth, as you mentioned above, and tell the people that those were just empty election promises, my straight dog family? Is it because there were no investors? You force Prime Minister July, or Prime Minister July was forced to sign over 40%, my straight dog family, of all the passports issued in St. Kitts.
Speaker, I can say we are over 50,000 of passports issued. The number of passports issued is possibly as much as the population at this particular time, or could be a little higher. You have to tell the truth. The people deserve to know the truth. It is a hard truth, but it is the truth. The mismanagement of the program has seen us today have more citizens, very likely more citizens by investment, in our own population here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
And my straight dog family, July attempts to speak the truth. But if he speaks the truth, in just under 2 years, he would have signed almost 50%, or 42% to be exact, of all the CRO signed since the inception of the program. As he said, he was set up and he signed 21,000 of them. But they work hard, according to the AG. But that's like a fisherman telling you that his fish is not stink. It's always fresh. But do not break your hand patting yourself on the back for doing what you are being paid to do. Finally, Mr. AG, you are an important actor in the movie being produced by Philippe Martinez, my straight dog family. It contains some serious challenges that require careful and strategic approaches. As Attorney General, clear communication with the public and stakeholders is essential. The government should strive to uphold the rule of law, demonstrate accountability, and ensure that its actions are in the best interests of the country and all its citizens and residents. These are just some of the many issues that must be addressed after the MSR movie Mandamus premieres on the 10th of July. That's my story tonight, my straight dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, and I'll do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. And in the process of doing and saying those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. At 11 past the 9 o'clock hour, we go to the lines and say, good night, caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Good night, how are you?
I am peaceful, my dear. How are you?
Nice weather to cool down the heat.
For the ducks. Good weather for the ducks.
For the what?
For the ducks. The farmers will love it too.
Oh, yes. Because when you watch how them farmers place bun down, it's just, oh Lord, it's terrible. Now, Mr. Liburd, what I want to say, I thought July had ideas. That's why he's sending for Cubans to work, because he went there. Nobody else in St. Kitts can work. The Grenada Prime Minister say all the work he has is for his people, no foreigners. He can say that too. Mr. Liburd, we are the two. speakers from. The worse than sit down, get up, and you turn. You remember that? Simmons and Timothy bring this country to what it is. They could have never do that. A pity what went on. She wait until the big and bad them just a come, don't talk, never expect, want to hush up Timothy when he want to talk. None could ever be like him. He know more than them. All of them, they have to go away every week to know what to do and say. Mr. Liburd, I hear the lights going up. If it is true, people who paying should know because it's people who put them there. I hear was bawling about it. They should have known better. Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my Straight Talk family.
Think what you're saying. People just have to talk their mind about when you start your program. But you just talk some things too, so see you.
Have a good night, my dear. We go straight back to the lines and say good night to this caller. You're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
Good evening, my
dear. The quote for this evening. The earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. I repeat, the earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Satisfy everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. I always look forward to these quotations, and I always forget to repeat them at the end of the program. And I will make certain I'll do that tonight, but not everyone's greed. Nice quotation. Yes, my Straight Talk family, 9:14. Our lines are open. We are entertaining your calls. If you have just joined me, I've introduced my thesis tonight. MSR movie Mandamus premieres on the 10th of July. We anticipate that Philippe Martinez, given the opportunity, he would release his next movie. They don't make the box office, but he will produce his next movie, and he promised he will produce 35 movies in 5 years, I think he said. So we anticipate that his next movie, which we gather would be named Mandamus, would be launched on this coming Wednesday, the 10th of July. And while I'll juggle the calls with our emails as well, because I do get caught up and miss some emails, and you must forgive me for that. Those who might miss last time around. Patches, that guy, July, really believes that the reporters and journalists that attend his press conferences are really stupid. Did you hear what July said to Glenn Barth? He said to Glenn, I see you like to ask about the CBI. Where are you getting your information from to ask the questions? Glenn Barth told him, from a reliable source. If I was Glenn Barth, I would have said to July, that's none of your business. Your job is to answer the questions or not, and my job is to ask the questions. I am so disappointed with the reporters and journalists that attend the July press conference, why they always seem so scared and frightened to ask serious questions. I think they should just stop going. It's just a waste of time. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening. Good evening, Gada.
Good evening. Good evening, my brother. Gada.
Okay, Gada.
Yes.
Well, let me start. Let me touch off the last one that you read, but before I forget the one day. St. Kitts has become a communist country run by a dictator. Is that boy from Monkey Hill, July. Now you see why he want to put muzzle on journalist mouth. Journalists who ain't afraid to ask him the question that the whole public, the whole universe who are listening wants to hear. He gone in there with one intention is to make big promises, over promise, and under deliver. And that is why he cannot answer. He cannot answer the truth when questions are shoot to him. All journalists them should stop going in there because he is the same thing he gonna do. Any one of them ask him a question where he don't want to ask. Frigate Bay and over the Southeast Peninsula. I cannot believe that King Lawyer Joe wants to what you call write off all them big money owed to Buddy Darby for over the side over there. He got to be crazy. He got to be crazy. He's the worst politician in the Caribbean as a leader. He do not know what he's doing because he never expect to be in that position. He never even expect to be the leader of the Labour Party, Douglas Labour Party. But however, he get it work, and then he never expect to be the Prime Minister. So he ain't have no plan. That he cannot run the country. He mash up the country every day. And we the citizens here, we supposed to get down on them. You cannot afford to take National Bank money and lend them people over there and then go want to talk about right up $100 million one way. I wonder if you know how National Bank started. National Bank started on Central and Market Street here with Mr. Bridgewater and Prokop. The little St. Kitts Nevis Industrial Bank. Patches I used to bank $1 every Monday morning from picking stock meat for cane cutters in that bank. And every Friday afternoon I come out of school early and I used to go draw 25 cents off of my account to buy me treat to up Mr. Mac and the Boyson. And now he walking playing fool with National Bank. One of the most powerful bank in the whole Caribbean. National Bank can take a people money up. One of them had to ask people to take a haircut because there was nothing to give back to people them. And he now come with the foolishness. That is the trade and habit of them Labour. I do not like to hear the name because of what this Labour Party has done to this country and is doing to this country. I do not like to hear the name Labour no more. It's not good. Their intention is to starve poor people, take away what poor people got, and full up the rich man them long pocket. So anyway, Patches, I have another punch to come back with. So let me give somebody else a chance to come in. You're calling, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patches. I'll be back.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Liburd. Reads this email. I really don't want to say this, but we need something serious in the country to trigger an election. We have a bunch of gangsters running this country. Now, since 2022, when they got into power, they traveled over 300 times, costing the Treasury over $300 million in accommodation, food, and per diem. Wow. But want to tell single moms $500 a month on PAP is too much for them, and now they cannot pay the promised $1,000 dividend because they can't spend and balance the money. Patches, the taxpayers' money belongs to the ministers and their close friends, family, and advisors. Alone to hell with the rest of us. Patches, Labour is a wicked government. Reads this email. This other email reads, Dwyer, you're talking a lot of nonsense. So much so that you are really confused. You initially said that Drew said he was set up to sign some CBI passports, and you responded that you don't believe he was set up. Fair comment. And so no sensible person believed that either. Only an idiot would believe that calculated lie. Drew signed the passports on his own free will. It seemed to me now that Drew is uncomfortable when you said, so he has asked you to retract that specific part of your statement, that you do not believe he was set up. For it appears that you, Dwyer, of all persons, are now joining and singing the popular chorus, Dr. July is really a liar. So Dwyer, you are so confused and has the gall to come back with some damage control to tell us that you don't believe Drew meant it in that way when he said he was set up to sign the passports, and you went on further to say what you think Drew meant when he said he was set up. Dwyer, you say you're a lawyer, and you must know it is inadmissible in a court of law for you to tell a court what you think Drew meant when he made that statement. You are not in his mind. You must say what you mean and mean what you say if you are to be trusted. Read this email. It's 9:23, my Straight Dog family. If you have just joined me, we, in fact, looked at our thesis, or presented our thesis tonight, which I have titled MSR movie Mandamus premieres on the 10th of July, or 10th July. And remember, we have our own calendar here in St. Kitts, the July calendar. So July, DREU-LIE. And we looked at the issues as it relates to the judicial review and the application to strike out that judicial review. But let's go to the lines and get back to that, my Straight Dog family. Okay, I seem to miss that call. What's that? Yeah. I seem to have missed that call. Yes, my Straight Dog family. As let's take this call now. Caller you live. Hello, caller.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liburd. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. How about thou?
Yeah, pretty good. Great show like usual, man. Leading up to the movie premiere coming up on Wednesday, I was anticipating that this show tonight was going to be stellar. Seems like a lot of people was waiting for you before you get on. Anyway, straight to the point. I was listening to Drew on one of those clips. He mentioned about the number of passports that's issued total. If that's a great concern on his part, does this mean that we cease this program here at this point? If the big concern is running past the number of residents in both St. Kitts and Nevis at this time that was recently released by the census. You get my question?
Yes, I
If there's such a concern about the number of total passports signed and distributed already, where do we go from here? Do we halt this program and diversify?
Well,
the second question, I want to move on real quick, man. There's other people coming.
Yeah, please, yeah.
But try to register some of this stuff I'm mentioning tonight, please. The second thing is like the one person, the email that came in about the trigger, a trigger for re-election. This saga right here, this type of saga normally bring down governments. And because St. Kitts and Nevis is how it is there on the ground, nobody wants to stand up for their rights. Nobody wants to protest. The status quo remains. These politicians might be able to sweep this under the rug. I really dare the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to come in the street, because we saw what happened in Kenya with the recent protests there. They were able to get the leader to put the hold on that tax increase bill, and additionally, there was giving out some incentives after that. Secondly, about Dr. Jew, the strikeout, right? I wanna focus in on the case. If the strikeout, they are filed to strike out, like you said earlier, right? If underselling the passport was such a bad act, is he agreeing to the underselling of the passports and he does want them to be striked out? Or is he on the side where people are asking if the passports that was distributed by the prison project, are those passports are going to be canceled? You get my drift? Mm-hmm. It's not. I'm thinking this man might be on the wrong side of the spectrum. I stand corrected, because if he is trying to strike out this motion, and the motion is asking for cancellation of these passports in this corrupted saga, to cancel those passports, and he is now coming to strike that out, it appears to me that he is on the side of agreeing that these passports were distributed legitimately, when the whole situation is that the passports was undersold. Those are my 3 points tonight.
Okay.
Differently than that, when this premiere starts Wednesday, I'm asking all citizens, man, even them babies that are just coming out of the infirmary, I want them to get down in front of that courthouse and at least have their placards up, protesting against this massive allegation of corruption. This is the biggest scandal in St. Kitts Nevis history. And these politicians should not be able to get away with this stuff, bro. A lot of people sat down there for 40 years. A lot of people who still think they're so intelligent. And the people are now realizing that they've been taken for a ride for 40 years. And if these citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis stand by and don't do nothing about it, then whatever treatment they get from here on, their asses is grass. They need to stand up for their rights. They need to stand up for their rights. The St. Kitts and Nevis people, they're hypnotized by these politicians. That's why these politicians are running away with this stuff right now. Of course, somebody on the email is asking for a trigger for new election. This is one such opportunity.
Okay.
And the people that need to stand up and take that opportunity up.
Okay.
But Wednesday, when this movie premiere, everybody needs to get down in front of the High Court and pass there and protest against this stuff.
Okay, my brother.
And call for new elections if need be.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, man. You have a good night, man.
Have a good night as well. Always welcome your contributions. And just again for our information, I understand the point you made is that this application to strike out. But if I ask myself, strike out what? There's a judicial review which, as he said, through his lawyer, that's Philippe Martinez, through his lawyer, Damien Kelsick, King's Counsel of Kelsick, Wilkin, and Ferdinand. He has sued and brought this claim against the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, July, as you can look at your screens. And I asked the question, but what is to be struck out? That's the question I asked, and you're suggesting. You made a suggestion, very, very, very interesting. But the judicial review allows the judge of the Eastern Caribbean court to take an active role, as there's different branches in the separation of powers, but allows the judge to take an active role in ensuring that the executive branch, the government, the cabinet, abides by the law. But this claim here is seeking relief or an order of Mandamus directed to the defendant, who is the Minister of National Security, requiring him to call in and or cancel all certificates of citizenship granted to male applicants and their dependents who obtain citizenship of St. Kitts and Nevis by purchasing alternative investment options granted to Caribbean Galaxy Real Estate Limited in connection with the construction of the prison at Estridge. But the matter will go to the court, and we don't know what the arguments would be like. But that is a high bar, I submit, very high bar. And I don't you think so? Because imagine a judge ruling to recall passports, who would pay back the clients. But again, the matter is before the court, so I really don't intend to indulge. But there are serious consequences that can arise. But the facts will be presented in court by all parties, no doubt. But when we read the chapter Strikeout, it will be interesting. Or when we see that movie and the scene Strikeout. But as I said, we have an Attorney General who is the chief legal officer in St. Kitts and Nevis. His role is to serve as counselor to our government agencies and the parliament, also as a representative of the public interest. But, as I said as well, Garth Lucifer Wilkin is not the Attorney General. He is the lawyer for the Labour Party. He's not the lawyer for the country or its people. Let's go back to the lines. I'll call you live. Thank you for holding. Hello, caller.
Thank you for allowing me. Good night, Francis. Good night, all the listeners.
Yes, good night, my brother.
Who are interesting hot topic tonight of facts, and the truth will fall where they should, or the chips will fall where they may.
Mm-hmm.
While we are on this issue about this Mandamus, the Minister of National Security, that's the Prime Minister, asking the judge to strike out these signatures that he signed on these passports. Well, if we will go back, first of all, let me say thank God. We may disagree. Thank God for Philip Martinez. Because had this not happened, the people of St. Kitts, including I, would have been in the dark about this CBI program. And the facts are falling in. You see, the Prime Minister made a mistake, and now he's claiming for the Mandamus. No, you took office, and government is continuous. If you had doubts and curiosity of the previous administration, wouldn't you review what they were doing and what was deemed proper in your view and your cabinet view to carry it on, or cancel it, like you cancel some programs? So you are negligent because you did not review. And your attorney, the Attorney General, should have advised you and both of you review these matters. So now that this lawsuit file of the racketeering you realize you are being caught up into it, and now you want to get out. Well, I don't think the Caribbean court judge, whosoever is trying this case, should just strike it out like that, because ignorance is no excuse to a crime. You committed a crime. So how do you want to get out? But the trap was set for Harris. I am not a big fan of Harris. And to tell you the truth, I am not favoring any political party. I am craving for the people of St. Kitts, and I will remain that. But the trap was set for Harris, and while Harris led to be in the trap, other past and present ministers are caught up into this net. So some want to bow out because, boy, never trouble until troubles you. That is the saying going on for generations. You did not review, and now you are caught up. Maybe you could have been innocent doing what you did, but you didn't review. That doesn't mean that you must be excused, because you actually signed, and you can't say you're being set up. How could you allow yourself to be set up by not reviewing? So you signed it, and you signed 1, 2, 3 up to thousands. So you should have known somewhere along the way while you're signing something is not right or something is right. But obviously something was not wrong, and you continue to do it. So now this big bombastic claims, allegations has come out, and all of you caught up. So never trouble until trouble troubles you. If I get a document, I read the fine prints, because I am not going to sign to something that's going to trap me. Okay? And you didn't do that, and your Attorney General did not do that. So both you got to blame your Attorney General. He's your legal advisor. And so all of you went into this thing like to trap someone, and it's just like coconut heads. Okay? But I don't think that Mandamus should be granted. Let it go to court and let the judges decide. Okay? And this U.S. trial, I'm looking forward to hear it. And thank God for Philip Martinez. May the Lord bless his soul. I don't care who vex and disagree with me. That's my opinion. Drag yourself out of it. The chips fall where they may. Thank you for having me. I will come with something else again. Thank you.
Thank you, my Straight Talk family. That's what Straight Talk, no doubt, is all about. I go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patrick. I'm here again.
Yes, sir.
Well, Patrick, let me tell you something. If July was smart, like he likes to use the word smart, he would have used the word really. Well, Mr. Welcome just say, review before you continue. But you see, they set up the trap for Harris, and the trap flies, and you catch them. That's why they say, when you dig in a hole, a ditch, for somebody dig one for your car, you got space where you stand up. You never expect it. And if he was doing things on the right path, the correct path, he would not ask for nothing. He would not say he gets set up. And he wouldn't want, like, I don't want to go too much in the court, but he wouldn't ask for the court to, what the word again they use in the court when he want to take that case from India?
There's a claim file to strike it out.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. He would not ask for that. But you see, I can't wait till Wednesday come, God willing. Because I know when Wednesday start, we gonna know who is sheriff, and who is cowboy, and who wrong, and who right, and who clean, and who dirty. All who believe they could cover up under the rug, everything gonna be exposed. And a lot of people gonna be surprised to see who been exposed with the corruption. And I hope the man who cannot remember, he want me to say decide why they are saying, but I can't remember. I hope he realize it, and then when he gonna make it commentary, he don't leave out none of them corrupted people names. No, this man here, Martinez, he was in jail for so many years where he was up top. And then he come down here, and the mama guy, the snake, force in Nevis. Remember, he was refused out of Barbados, and the snake opened his hand like a cross to come into me, man. waiting for you. And I remember hearing the snake saying that he's going to make movie and how many people going to be employed and whatnot. Well, I understand the snake is in one of the first movies. But here what happened now? All the time the snake come now recently talking about he wants fair share for Nevis. When he said the best treatment Nevis ever get is when Team Unity was in administration. He forget he said that. And all them time he was getting $500 million. $500 million from the administration of Team Unity. So what did he do with that $500? What did he do with it? Did he give Martinez $150,000 every month out of that until he done? And then do nothing for Nevis? Look how long Nevis Hospital up there and finish. Money out of that could have finished Nevis Hospital, and money out of that could have paid the people them up there, and money out of that could have continued the geothermal. He might have finished by now. But I hear him say this week that the reason why the geothermal is at a standstill where it is right now is lack of money, finance or whatever it is. No finance there. So where did the 400 million gone? Tell the people of Nevis that $400 million is what helped to buy OTI. So that OTI belongs to the people of Nevis. And you all come down and claim it. Anyway, Patches, I can't remember not necessary right now, so I got to go. Let somebody come in. If anything, I'll just give you boom.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. For information, those who may have just joined me, the civil code list, as can be gleaned on your monitors, states lists the case that's will be moved before her ladyship Justice Tamara Gill, and is hearing of an application to strike. It means to get rid of that case in colloquial parlance. And that case, MSR Media Senkis Limited versus the Honorable Terrence Drew. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Patches.
Good night, sir.
July, wait till this last moment in our life to tell us we can't give a dividend. We can't live off of $2,000. We can't live off of $15,000. But he gives us a major increase. What are we coming to and what kind of leader we have? Do remind me of Nebuchadnezzar, the wicked king. You have a good night, Mr. Patches.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the line and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live.
Patches, it's the same voice again. I cut off in the midst of what I was doing. But I'm going to make an amendment to what I said. Okay? Now, coming back to this Mandamus, a motion moved to strike what the Minister of National Security is asking for. Now, like I said, the trap was set for one man. Okay? But all the names that listed into that litigation, it has popularity of people who names are mentioned, like Dr. Douglas. Okay?
Can I interrupt you? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but don't mix up the two cases. This one is in the local court here. Relation the claim to recall the passport has nothing to do with the case at the RICO case, as it's called. So don't mix them up.
I will strike that part, but it's all part of the equation. But anyway, it's all part of the equation because it's a big thing. This narrative is for him to strike. Why can't Denzel Douglas? Why didn't she? It's just a mess. Where to start and where to end. Let's see how it play out. in that Mandamus because he's CYA right now. Prime Minister is CYA, covering his ass. And what about the others? This lawsuit should not. And I believe also that this was a setup because the United States government been looking at the CBI program, St. Kitts and Nevis CBI program. And not just that, it goes to the other countries too. But it worked because something was going on wrong for the longest time. And also, Philip Martinez, he's looking out for the people of St. Kitts. This is not about Philip Martinez.
Yeah.
This is about St. Kitts government. Okay. And the U.S. government needs it. And probably Philip Martinez was organized and briefed by the United States government as a bait to catch all these kleptocrats. But like I said, I need this thing to play out because this is big and the people of St. Kitts are not listening to their news and they're not getting any information to know what's going on in their country, their government, and to make a decision whether to protest or just to walk away. But people of St. Kitts, you all got to listen.
Okay.
Be aware of what's going on around in your environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Straight Dog Family. Let's take some of these emails. I support the lady who recommended that each bond petition and division should be paid $10,000 from the CBI fund. It makes sense, reads this email. This other email reads, Mr. Austin Edinburgh, I think you are giving the Prime Minister some real bad advice. Reads this email. Maybe it's intentional, I don't know. Reads this other email. Blessings, Ambassador. Hope all is well with you and your family. I saw some disgusting photos of Prime Minister Drew and the leader of the opposition, Mark Brantley. Does St. Kitts really have an opposition leader? These two persons are partying and fraternizing together. There's nothing wrong in being cordial, but the citizens are made to look like fools. Is this the duty of an opposition leader? So much is happening, and he and the other members on that side should be the voice of the voiceless. But seems as though Dr. Harris is the only one who understands the role of an opposition. Reads this email. This other email reads, good night, Ambassador. Can email a copy of the bank document that you posted, please? Okay, I think you're referring to the financial statements. They are online, but I'll try and get that on the email. When Douglas was Prime Minister, reads this email, patches at least he ensured that the thousands of voters who did vote for his party was given an official office. To the leader of the opposition, reads that email, who was Mark Brantley at the time, fully funded and paid for, the secretary by the government, bearing in mind that he was premier also. Douglas nevertheless demonstrated the ethos of true democracy and good governance. Also, when Harris became Prime Minister and was now opposition leader, he continued the same trend and gave Douglas an office with a secretary of Douglas's choice. But where is the office of the leader of the current opposition leader, Mark Brantley? Is it in Nevis, in his private law office, as it was then, when he first held the post? So who is really representing the thousands of people in the opposition in St. Kitts? Big Lights claim that he is therefore greedy. Mark should hand over the monthly paycheck to Big Lights for doing his job. It looks so stupid to see a man as Prime Minister and at the same time being leader of the opposition in one country. What part of this is good governance, Mr. Attorney General, is joke you're making? I think he meant Premier. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Patches. Mr. Patches, if Nebuchadnezzar only cut down his load of flying, he will manage the country better and able to put back on the $500 for the poor people, them blind people, children bawling. Nebuchadnezzar got a grip on his hand. And here's the people up there being about the other people, them tears of them children who cannot eat. The tears of the mother now crying because we was depending on the $500 last month to buy the children school book, and now we can't buy them. If Nebuchadnezzar only cut down on the traveling, he could pay more than what Timothy used to pay because he traveled too much. Have a good night, Mr. Patches.
Have a good night as well, my Street Dog family. I'm questioning MSR's locus standi with this message. Is that what the government is saying in the application to strike out the application? Any decision made by the court on the application to strike does not favor him politically if you think clearly about it. He has trapped himself and the country and ongoing so ruined the CBI, damaged our most lucrative income stream, and created scandal, reads this email. I agree with Garth Wilkin, reads this other email. This administration did run on a platform of change. They told us one thing on the campaign trail, then changed their mouth when they got into power. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Yeah, Mr. Yeah, Patches, I wanted to get back in real quick, man.
Yeah,
those two emails was really good. Like, those two emails you just read. You know, the people got to realize that the dividend, what happened is, when I believe myself personally, when Dr. Drew got in there, when he sees so much corruption and so much money was, you know, available from over all them years, he decided to give a dividend. But that dividend is just a political gimmick. Now they're trying to roll that back. And there's a caller that's calling in recently asking to get $10,000 for each citizen, or, you know, citizens over 18 based on their income. But that should have been given from the get-go. And then now the people see exactly what's been happening for 40 years. I believe personally that we need to have a peaceful protest so as to relieve the people of all the frustration that they're finding out now. And if that peaceful protest don't come, it may just turn violent, and we don't really want that. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Like I said before, reads this email, and I'm wrapping now. Dr. Drew is just using the Labour Party to get to the fame he so desperately desires. The office of Prime Minister is the vehicle that will get him there. He can't become internationally known if he stays in St. Kitts. So, Patches, I want to request a song for the Labour Party and the people of this country. Can you play Shut Up and Drive by Rihanna for them, please, so they can just drive Drew to the fame he wants for himself? Reads this other email, and think this is my final. Okay, I have two more emails. Patches, I realize every time the people of this country have important questions to ask about the affairs of the country, July always seems to be running and hiding and don't want to face the people. We the people were asking about the dividend for a month now. July put out a post on social media saying he's not paying any dividend. He should have come to the nation and explained to us. Instead of coming to the people, July sent his surrogates to talk crap on the radio to us. And I'll take this final email. Good night, Patches. Mark is not as vocal as he used to be in Douglas's tenure as Prime Minister. I see nothing wrong if he and Prime Minister Joe get along. They are not enemies. They are different politically. Okay, well, that's the views of that emailer. And my Straight Talk family, as we wind down tonight's programming, if you join me belatedly, we examined the thesis. Let's take this call. Caller, you live. I'll get back to that. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Buenas noches, señor Liburd. ¿Cómo está?
Ay, tranquilo. ¿Y tú?
Bien, bien. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. Take care.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks a lot for that quotation. And as we wind down tonight's program, my Straight Talk family, as I was saying, those who may have joined me belatedly, we looked at our thesis for tonight. MSR movie Mandamus premieres on 10th July. And my Straight Talk family, we looked at our main focus was on the cast, the actors in this movie that would premiere on Wednesday, as it said, July 10th. And it's a true story about a claim that was filed with the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in the High Court of Justice here in St. Kitts on the 22nd of May 2024. The claim SKB HCV 2024 is between MSR Media St. Kitts Limited and the Honorable Terence Drew in his capacity as Minister of National Security. And my Straight Dog family, recent developments also came to light. And for those who may have missed it, this, in fact, is the claim that I posted earlier. I'll post just before we wind down. And as you can glean from your screen, or your monitors, that the claim is seeking to recall and cancel citizenship issued as a result of applications to the alternative investment option, to wit, the Caribbean Galaxy, as most people refer to it as the court, as the prison project, beg your pardon. We got the information via this document from the court. Let's take this caller. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Mr. Liburd, that wasn't a quotation. That's Bible. All the best.
Okay, thank you very much, my dear. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, thanks. That's what Straight Talk is all about. Let's take this and perhaps make this my final call for the night. Caller, you're live.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
Yes,
Mr. Liburd, I'm calling you with a great concern because I was depending heavily on Mr. Drew. I trust him because he offered us $1,000 to Timothy $500. And if you're getting $1,000 more than $500, you don't vote for the $1,000, isn't it? I take my ex and I give it to Drew, and I'm living in deep regret because he stopped the $500 that Timothy used to give us, and he turned around, said the 1,000, and now when he said sinners, send to the 1,000. How wicked that man could be. And how loyal he could be. He's loyal to the nation all the time, sir. Jesus, man. We need Jesus to step in and take him out. Have a pleasant night, Mr. Patrick.
Have a pleasant night as well. I Straight Talk family, and that's the way we're going to end our calls tonight. And as I made mention, recent developments have come to light that the court will convene on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, 10th July at 9 a.m., according to this particular notice we saw on the list of civil court list, as it's called. Caller, really in my wrap-up stage.
But not go to practice.
Yes, my lord. I can give you 30 seconds.
Just give me 5 seconds. Then I want 30 seconds.
Okay.
And good night to the listeners via radio and internet of your social media platform that you have. And I hope that within the moment that you're outlining here, that we see some cooking that is proceeding on our people. We factually jail within the evil action that they put out on the shores of things and me. So if you are part of it, you better get yourself out of that demonic formation. You have a blessed night. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Ras, I haven't heard you for some time. But while this movie depicts a true story, greater focus was placed on the cast of well-known actors. And in the process, we examined their characters, which were not created, but they were factual. And we hopefully demonstrated to the people, to my Straight Talk family, that these people were depicted as they really are, true to life. Refer to the producer of the film Mandamus, Philippe Martinez, who we know by now, we all should know, spent many years in jail in the US and latterly in a French jail. We spent time having committed fraud. We know of his UK-based company. He claimed focuses on commercial feature films and television series for audiences around the world. He never produced one film that made it to the box office charts. He's not a Steven Spielberg, a filmmaker known for acclaimed or any movie that has attracted the box office. For sure. He said he was invited to St. Kitts by Mark Brantley. Or he was told, he said, to go to St. Kitts by Mark Brantley. He said this.
Now, couple of months ago, Jacob Katzman, Mark Brantley, we spoke, and they told me you have to come to this beautiful federation. And it has been a dream since then. So again, thank you for the warm hospitality today.
Yes, he said it was a dream since then. Dream because it wasn't too long after he established his headquarters in St. Kitts.
It's an important week for us because at the end of the week, MSR is opening a headquarters in St. Kitts. So we're very excited about it.
But when we look at the scenes of this new MSR movie Mandamus, you will find relationships that stink from head to toe. The relationship between Philippe Martinez and Premier Mark Brantley in the movie he's known as the Snake. That led to the relationship between Philippe Martinez and Prime Minister Drew, my Straight Dog family. They spoke. Yes, they did.
To thank Philippe for really coming through and what we had discussed some time before.
Well, that was very vague. What they discussed some time before, my Straight Dog family. But the convicted felon and producer in the movie never delivered on what they discussed. We examined the characters of the other actors in the movie. Gada is a main one. Lucifer referred to Gada when he was a young boy as Uncle Dwyer. Uncle Dwyer. Yes, Gada, the actor in the movie, is Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan, who had his own scandal with what, as I mentioned earlier, the Gada Lavalley scandal, which must shape his legacy, the legacy of Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan. And when we look at this movie, you will conclude that Gada is hell-bent to mash up the CBI. But although the movie to be released on the 10th of July and the scenes are different to those that will be found in the other movie, there's one to come called RICO, R-I-C-O. But that would highlight the racketeer influence and corrupt organizations under United States federal law. But one wonders, my Straight Talk family, how it is this Philippe Martinez and MSR Media St. Kitts Limited could remain appointed by Prime Minister July as the #1 and only public benefactor for the St. Kitts Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program. Through his lawyer Damien Kelsick, King's Counsel of Kelsick, Wilkin and Ferdinand, he has now sued and brought a claim against the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. July. Attempts, as I said earlier, are now being made to strike it out. But what is to be struck out, you may ask? But remember, my Straight Talk family, this convicted felon moved to the court to require Dr. July to call in and cancel all CORs, all certificates of registration he approved, and who obtained citizenship under the alternative investment option that was granted to Caribbean Galaxy in connection with the new correction facility. And this judicial review will allow the judge to take an active role in ensuring that the executive branch of government, the cabinet, abides by the law approved by the legislature and or the constitution. And I submit that this is a high bar. Don't you think so? Recall passports? Well, who would pay back the clients? So serious consequences will arise. The facts will be presented in court by all parties, no doubt. But the matter is before the court. So I won't read the chapter strikeout. So I make no further comment. But I want to say that we have an Attorney General who is supposed to be the Chief Legal Officer of St. Kitts Nevis. His role is to serve as counselor to our government agencies and the Parliament, also as representative of the public interest. However, he is not acting like the Attorney General. Garth Lucifer Wilkin acts like he is a lawyer for the Labour Party and not for the country or its people. My Straight Dog family, as we wind down tonight's programming, these are serious issues that would be addressed in some way, shape, or form. We cannot run away. We can never run away. We can never run away, my Straight Dog family. And as I wind down, I suggest, my Straight Dog family, that the serious issues to be addressed and must be addressed by an important actor in this movie being produced by Philippe Martinez. It contains serious legal challenges that require careful and strategic approaches. As Attorney General, clear communication with the public and stakeholders is essential. The government should strive to uphold the rule of law, demonstrate accountability, and ensure that its actions are in the best interests of the country and its citizens. And these are just some of the many issues that must be addressed after the MSR movie Mandamus premieres on the 10th July. That's my story tonight, my Street Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many listeners, for those who send emails and those who call in. Remember, all of you are the ones who make Street Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. Until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, please be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So until we connect on Straight Talk on Thursday, keep moving on, my Straight Talk family. Bye-bye.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg him to take me through each day. My guardian to keep and my guide over every step I take, he will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. My way with strength and courage from above. No man I'll fear, since God protects me with his love. Strong, pure and true,
everything for the making of a real agreement.